Hey gang, it's Brian from FXBilliards. Today we're going to talk about key ball play and 8-ball, helping you run a lot more racks. So I'm going to give you 10 key ball strategies, different opportunities to improve your game. And if you're not a better 8-ball player at the end of this, you must have started out very, very good. So let's get started. In this video, I will be playing with a Predator Ikon, and I will be breaking with a BK Rush. So let's start out by discussing what the key ball is very quickly. The key ball is the ball that is going to put us on the 8. Now, sometimes it's very obvious, hey, we want to shoot that. That's going to put us on the 8 ball. Many times it's not obvious, so I'm going to show you both sides of the coin here. But your key ball is essential. And if you've already heard this stuff before, you're still going to improve from this video. It's going to be great. Let's get started. So my standard 8-ball break is I'm a little bit off center here. I'm just going to hit the head ball just a little bit head on. I'm a little bit to the left of this one ball. Good follow through. We scratched actually, but that's not going to hurt us as far as analyzing this rack and coming up with a key ball for you guys. Now, since we scratched on this break, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze this rack as if our opponent broke, scratched on the break, the table is still open, and we can now run out. Let's look at what our key ball would be. Now, this is a nice spread. It's a shame that I scratched on it because this is the kind of rack that you want if you're looking to run out, but you have to have certain elements in place. Element number one, which we kind of touched on earlier, that there are more than just these 1 or 2 elements. There are 5 basically. What we select as far as which ball we take is one of our key elements. Now, if I look around the table, it looks like the stripes and the solids both have different characteristics. It's very interesting. You'll see that the stripes are primarily on the outside of the table and the solids are primarily on the inside. But there's one thing that's wrong with the solids at this point. That thing is the 2 ball, believe it or not. The 2 does not have a pocket and every other solid has a pocket. So if I came over here, I could make the 2 just barely past the 12 ball, which is one of the reasons why it's important that you walk the table so you see these things. I ask guys all the time, does that 2 ball go into that corner pocket? And it's late in the game and then they come over here and say, oh yes, it does. Well, you need to know right now. The fact that the 2 goes in the corner pocket changes everything because now I may want to take the solid balls. But this video is about key ball play. Your key ball is the ball you want to shoot right before the 8. So if I have the solids here and I manage to run all of these balls, which ball do I want on the table at the end to be my key ball? So let's look at this pattern. I'm telling you the solids and the stripes both look very easy, so we should run out either one. But if we are on the solids, the best key ball here is not the 2, which is closest to the 8, because remember, we have to get over here to play the 2 in that pocket, which means we can only get on the 8 certain ways. A lot of people tell me, yeah, that's my key ball. And I say, well, how are you going to get to the 8? And they say, well, I'm going to get here, and then I'm going to play it there, come out here, and then play the 8 in that corner pocket. And my answer is always the same. You're telling me that 6 shots from now, you are going to be perfect on this 2 ball. That's very ambitious. Shane's not perfect on that 2 ball 6 shots from now, by the way. So why do you think that you're going to get in a zone the size of a playing card so that you can play that 2 there and get over there? You want a ball to be your key ball that you don't have to be that good to get on it. I don't care if you're already that good. You don't want to have to be that good. So what ball would I not have to be a great player to get from the 6 to the 8 would be a good one. The 3 to the 8 would be a good one. The 4 to the 8 would be a good one. Do you see why? Because they're all connected to the 8 in some way, especially the 6. The 3 might take a little bit more energy, but when the 2's not there, because we're not leaving the 2 there, we could get on the 8 that way. So all of these things have to be taken in consideration. But we have because we were fortunate enough for Bryan to scratch, we have ball in hand. So what are we going to do here? We have to play behind the string because of the scratch. And we're going to take on another concept that goes along with your 5 elements of running 8-ball racks, and that is solving problems early. So what do? We put ourselves in position to get to that 2-ball right away. So in this scenario, we would actually take our ball in hand, play our 3 down in that corner to get on the 2-ball so that we can later have a free rein to use that 6 or the 4 or possibly the 1. All of these are great key balls to use as our key ball. So keep that in mind. Your key ball is not always the closest ball to your 8. We get rid of our problem here. I know some of you are thinking 2 to the 6. Not a bad idea. But remember, the 6 is one of my best key balls. I'm going to shoot it that way, but I don't want to. Let's just say that. Now I'm going to draw out so that I have a chance to play the 1 and or the 7. So now I can play the 7 here, but I want to make sure that I have a pattern that leads to me getting on the 8 from a key ball. What are my key balls now? If I shoot the 7, it's down to the 1 and the 4. Remember we talked about the 3 best key balls? Those are the best key balls. The 7 is the worst key ball on the table. So what I can do is eliminate the 7 as my key ball. Do you see what's happening here? Even though I can make it, it's not the best key ball, so it might be the next ball that I shoot. I don't want to save it for last if it's not a good key ball, right? So this is very important, how you determine to run these balls out. I'm going to play the 7 even though I don't like the angle I have on it. The reason I say I don't like the angle I have is because I'm rolling over there dangerously close to that 13. So I'm going to play this with a little bit of high right to make sure I stay on the other side of the 13. And that kind of worked. And now I want you to see why this 4 was such a good key ball. I would have loved to play the 4 in the side pocket there, but it's such a great key ball. I have this pocket, that pocket. That 4 ball goes into 4 different pockets here. So I did not have to get perfect on my 7 to get perfect on my 1 to get perfect on the 4. So now I can roll into 1. Have a shot on the 4 that puts me on the 8. The 8 is going to be going over there where the 12 is, in case you weren't sure. I can also play with some speed, come off of this rail, and then play the 8 in that pocket. But I'm going to roll it down and take my medicine. It should be over here. I don't need you, Mr. Chalk. So now I have, not the easiest, because I have partial pocket over here, but I have a shot on the 8. And we're out. All of that revolved around us picking the right key ball. That's how you run an 8-ball rack. Sometimes our key ball is not very obvious. The 7, which we love these side pocket shots, right? It's not a good key ball. Why is it not a good key ball? It's on the wrong side of the pocket. My 8's down here. If I was going that way, I'd love it as a key ball. The 6, not a good key ball. Why? Because it's totally parallel with the 8, and to get on the 6 so that I can make the 8, I have to get really close to this rail so that when I do make the 6, I don't end up all the way back down table. The 1 is actually the best key ball here, and it's the furthest ball away. That is often the case. You have to have these multi-rail position shots in your game if you're going to play rotation games or 8-ball as you get near the end of the game The same thing happens here. So what we do is we roll in our 6 ball. I'm going to play this a little bit of high right for no other reason than to get a little bit off of that rail. Now I can tap the 7 ball in, a little bit of stun, because I want to come out here and make my shot on the 1 just a tad bit easier. Tad bit. I don't think I've ever said that word before. So we're going to play the 7 in the side. And now we have this shot on the 1 where we have a slight angle that we can draw down table and get on the 8. So here looks a lot more complicated, right? But a lot of times the best key ball is not down here with the 8 ball. What if something else happened? What if after making my 7, I had a situation that looked like this? I made my 7, and instead of drawing it out and then playing a long draw shot on the 1, I ended up with this. This is not the end of the world, guys. This is a better shot for a lot of you, and I'll show you why. All we have to do is cut this in with high right-hand English. We come off a couple rails. I do entire videos to teach you guys how to do this stuff, and we are perfect on the 8 ball. Keep in mind that sometimes your key ball is not the closest ball to the 8 and is not always obvious. This section is what I call key ball recovery. Key ball recovery means we had a good key ball, but our opponent, who seems to like to miss at all the wrong times, has left us on the wrong side of our key ball. So what do we do if we're here? There's a few things we can do to get from our 6 to the 8. But what's important here, here's the lesson, here's number 1 lesson, is had I used something else as my key ball, something that wasn't so target rich, something that wasn't in front of the side pocket, something that didn't go in 4 or 5 different pockets. Let's say my key ball was over there. Let's say my key ball was here. All of that would have been bad stuff. But because I picked the right key ball early and left it on the table, that's the important thing about your good key balls. You can't shoot them off, guys. I don't care if you don't have another shot. Yes, you may shoot it, but don't shoot off your key balls. I see people doing it all the time. I've gone as far as playing with friends and they shoot a ball that should have been their key ball early in the rack, and I will tell them, you have 0 chance of winning now. You will never get to the 8 ball. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you shot your key ball off. How are you going to get to the 8 when you've got 4 balls down there and 3 of them are on the rail? There's no way you're going to get down here, especially with traffic. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But let's look at a couple things we can do from here if our opponent leaves us this. Now, this is one of my favorite shots, and I know you guys hear that about once a month. That's because I love them all. So this is inside English, high right. We use that right-hand English to come off of that rail and spin back. Now, notice how conservative I got on this shot. Once you're adding that inside English and you're coming down here, bad things can happen. But because I played it conservatively, I can still now make my 8 and not have to worry about scratching. The other thing you have to be careful about in these shots is getting too conservative. Now, a lot of you can make this shot from anywhere up here to all the way down here. But know your game, know what you're capable of, and then you'll know how far you can hit this. Now, these are not going to be set exactly the same, but the concept will be the same. So, again, our opponent has left us on the wrong side of our key ball. We're going to play this with low left-hand English. Neither one of these shots are beginner shots, guys, but they're shots that every one of you watching this can grow into. So low left-hand English brings me off of these 2 rails, hopefully bypassing the 10 ball and giving us a shot on the 8. So that looks like this. Pretty close. Okay, so this is makeable from here. I just want to shoot it so you guys can see that it's not so unmakeable from there. But I want to shoot it again so that you can also see that it's not that difficult a shot. If you've got a decent draw shot, keep in mind, I know it looks like I'm drawing the ball 12 feet down table or something. No, if you've got the English on there and you've got the draw, this is a doable shot for you. Low left-hand English. We're on the other side of the 10 ball this time. Just a little bit more energy, just a little bit better shot. If you get too greedy with a shot like this, you could end up in this pocket. The bottom line on that situation is you may need to get creative in order to get out in certain situations. So another good use of multi-rail position when it comes to key ball play is pocket hangers. These are some of the easiest balls to play multi-rail position on if you get good position on them. A lot of players aren't even bothering to play shape on their pocket hangers because they think they can get anywhere on the table from there, and they think they can make it from anywhere. And you know what? In both instances, they're wrong. Old school players will tell you the worst enemy of the amateur player is the pocket hanger. Why? Because they can't get, if you had to get on this 1 ball from the 12, how would you get there? If you had to get on the 6 from the 12, how exactly would you get there? They're not easy to get on. That's why I tell people all the time, if you're not playing shape on your pocket hangers, you're not playing good pool. So we know that we need to get shape on it, but what is good shape on that pocket hanger? Because that 13 is not the best key ball. The 10, which was our primary key ball, some guy left his balls in front of ours, so now we have a hard time getting to the 8 from our primary key ball. So now the 12 becomes our primary. So how do we get on it? Now, hopefully you won't have to shoot this perfect draw shot to get on yours, but that is now my K2. I reach down here, shoot a nice little draw shot to get this position on the 10 ball. Now, why do I want this position? Because I can roll it in and leave my cue ball not just super close to the 12, because back here would have been just as fine, but I have an angle on the 12 that automatically puts me on the 8 ball. So let's look at a different thing that could have happened here. Let's say I played my 10, I left my cue ball here, my 12 is in the pocket here. It's the same shot, guys. Just tap it in, right hand English, you come down, you're on this ball. Might you have run into those balls? Maybe. It would have depended on the position that you had here. But if you don't know where you're going from these pocket hangers, you need to practice them. So I have 2 questions for you. What's your best key ball from here? And what probably was my key ball at the beginning of the rack? Let's go to question 2 first. The 7 would have been my key ball early in the rack. There is no way in the world I want to leave myself a shot on the 6 to get on the 8 at the end of the game. Why? Because I need to be here, maybe here, to pull off a shot where I can tap that in the pocket and stay on this 8 ball without going up and back. And those of you that your first plan is to go up and back to play this, you got a really bad plan. Okay, especially if there's other balls on the table. So what is our best key ball here? Should I play the 6 and then the 7? Or should I play the 7 and then the 6? Well, it depends on exactly where my cue ball is. If my cue ball is here, watch what I can do. I can shoot a draw shot and get straight enough on the 6 that now I can stay on the 8 ball. I can just spin that into the pocket and stay on the 8 ball for a makeable shot. But if things move just a couple inches, then things will be different. So what we have here is the same setup, more or less, but now I'm on this side of the 7 ball. On this side of the 7, things are not as simple, because what has to happen here is I have to come this way if I play the 7 first. So I may play the 6 first, but now I have to make sure I get down here so that I have a shot on the 7 that will put me on the 8 without me having, again, to do something really good. So whether or not your shot is going to be this making the 6 your key ball, or it's going to be something involving the 6 first, will really depend on inches. But take the time to think it out. Is this a makeable shot? Of course it is. Is this a makeable shot going up and back? Of course it is. I would love to show off and shoot that shot, but I don't want to have to do that in order to win the game. So keep in mind, you have multiple key balls, especially at the end of the game, and things went south. You need to make the right decision. Let's see what we would do here if we had to play the 6. This is not bad. We're going to be on the correct side of the 8. We're going to pull it right next to it, by the way. Just like that. This is a little too close. Don't get this close to the 8 ball. I should have shot this left-handed. But it's a very makeable shot. Don't get that close. Anyway, if I didn't talk about this, I would be doing you a major disservice. How many times have you had a situation like this? You're on the 12, and you come out here, and you put yourself here on the 8 ball. Here, here, here. All of these are bad places. Now, the bangers say, oh, I'm going to bank it in the side pocket because that's what I do all day. No, that's not what you do all day. The reason you're a banger is because you don't play well. So you do not bank it, but what you do is you play the over. I call these over-under shots. Now, I'm sure a lot of pros and a lot of other instructors may have other things that they call this, but I call it an over-under because I know I'm not going to be perfect. I already know it. That's one of the differences between a good player and a mediocre player, is the good player knows that they're not going to do everything perfectly, so they have made arrangements for such a thing. So over-under means I'm not going to be perfect on that 8 ball necessarily. I've got decent speed control, but I want to shoot it over. I want to overshoot this shot. So I'm going to play this with low left-hand English. I'm going to put enough speed on it that I come out here. Not because I'm going to get perfect on this, but because everywhere along the way here, look at this, 1, 2, 3 feet, this ball could travel, and I still have a shot. So here's a little bonus for you. You are on the 12, the 8 is down there. This is one of the worst situations you can have for your key ball. If you left this on yourself, shame on you. I didn't teach you anything good, okay? But how we play this really depends on inches. From here, I might do something that looks like this. I might come high left-hand English, come down table, get over here, and have a legitimate shot on the 8 ball. That's a pretty good shot, right? From a wider angle like this, that shot doesn't work. So what I have to do is come off the rail, maybe with a little bit of left, and come straight down table to get on that 8 ball. Now you notice I had a chance of scratching in the side pocket. I taught you guys in another video whether you should worry about that side or not. If this ball is inside this diamond, like this, chances are you won't scratch in the side. If it's outside this diamond, you could very well scratch in the side. But the lesson here is, number 1, do not let this be your end game. Get that ball off the rail, get it off early so you don't have this situation. Number 2, if you are left with this, you need to have both of these shots, maybe some other shots in the bag, or you are not going to get out.
Hey gang, if you enjoy FX Billiards on YouTube, you'll love FXBTV. It's the ultimate streaming platform for exclusive videos, tips, and techniques you won't find anywhere else. Join now to lock in our special introductory rate and be part of the FX Billiards community.